I would like to bring you the story of a young girl from Athy called Slaney. I met with Slaney yesterday in relation to her recent diagnosis of ADHD. She's 24 years of age, and Slaney wants to tell her story because, as she says herself, if I can help one person by sharing my experience, then that is good enough for me. Slaney was diagnosed with combined type ADHD in November 2022 at the age of 24. Going through my whole life with undiagnosed ADHD was an exhausting struggle, not to mention the stress I endured while trying to avail of an assessment. Although I struggled with respecting authoritative figures, teachers, and getting along with my peers, no one suspected that I had ADHD. There's a serious lack of education regarding ADHD, as the stereotypical idea of someone with ADHD is a hyperactive young boy, resulting in many girls and women living with undiagnosed ADHD. My ADHD became more prevalent in my teenage years when I started secondary school. I fell behind in class and I acted like I didn't care, when in reality I was ashamed and embarrassed that I couldn't just focus on my work and reach my potential. It wasn't that I didn't know how to do the work, I just couldn't force myself to do it. I could never understand how everyone around me kept up with their work and studied with such ease, as it was completely alien to me. I hated school, and looking back on it now, the main reason for it is because I didn't receive the support or understanding that I needed. Nevertheless, I passed my Leaving Cert. I tried to pursue a career honours degree in law in Carlow IT. Unfortunately, I stepped out after 2 years. As a teenager, maybe 16 or 17, I decided to speak to my GP about how I felt. I was put on antidepressants. As you can assume, the antidepressants didn't help me. I stopped taking them after a few months, despite the box specifically saying not to stop taking them until you consulted your doctor. And Slaney's story goes on and on and on and on. She says that she lacked most of the symptoms associated with diagnosis that she got and continued to get. She was referred to the mental health services in Kildare. She had no chance on a leader, but as she says herself, to seek private ADHD assessment. And it cost her a few hundred euros, as she says herself, but that didn't bother her because she felt it was worth it. She asked the question how many young people have been diagnosed with mental health issues like she was when they actually have ADHD and it's been overlooked. It's a scary thought, she goes on to say. There's a complete lacking of support of people with ADHD from school and colleges. There's a stigma around it with those that have ADHD. They're thought to be lazy, unmotivated and unreliable. It's Slaney's opinion that her anxiety stems from trying her hardest to mask it in public. She is clumsy, awkward, and she talks too fast, which heightens her anxiety as she forces herself to act normal in front of other people and not to show these little traits. ADHD, Slaney says, is not shameful and it shouldn't be treated as such. And again, leader, she finishes. If she can help even one person by sharing her experiences, then that is good enough for her. I asked for a discussion on that, leader, maybe with the Minister for Health, because I think adult ADHD is also much undervalued and underdiagnosed in this country, and Slaney's experience is sure shared by so many. Thank you, Lascairlock.